Yo, what's up? What's good? They have been keeping me at bay. They did not want me to go live. Every time I'm getting ready to start the live, something happens. That means, I must be on to something good. Now, Stephen A. Smith put on a hoodie and decided he's going to go out and be the toughest SOB in the hood. Yep. He loves to do that when he sits down with the brothers and play the role. So he decided to go play the role on Big Boy Neighborhood. Right? Now, my thing is, why is he on Big Boy's Neighborhood? What are you promoting? That was my first take. Get it? First take? Pun included. That was my first take. Why are you there? There's no need for you to be there. None. There isn't a rhyme or reason for you to be on Big Boy. Unless there is. Oh, man. I tell you. Hit the like button coming through the door, y'all. They on sabotage mode right now. So make sure you're hitting the like button coming through the door so we can fight this sabotage head on. Because it must be said, though it hurts to say. In society, there are just some things you just can't do because there are rules. And Stephen A. just broke about 90 of them. Now, he ain't pushing his book. He ain't pushing his show. Right? Like, everybody knows your show. So you came there to sit down to talk about what? What, Stephen A.? You were there to throw darts. Throwing darts at people. Because that's what you do. So let's get to it. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world. And I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. The arrogant, the smug, the entitled Stephen A. Smith. Not only did he shock the world, he decided to do something that was completely against the grain. He said, forget shocking the world. I'm just going to come flat out and expose myself. He's here to talk about Shannon Sharpe. That's why he's there. He wants to gather and use Shannon Sharpe. Now listen to what he says, though.
What's your, not position, but where do you think, what's happening now? And I know he's kind of stepping back from ESPN and going to come back for football, and you probably had conversations when that's more privy than what we could share. But when you saw this breaking out, what did you think as Stephen A. Smith, a comrade, associate, friend, brother, black man, everything?
It was important for me not to be selfish.
Right there. it was important for me not to be selfish. His very, very first statements. It's important to not be selfish. If that isn't an oxymoron, I don't know what is. You're being selfish right now. The things that you're doing right now does not help your comrade. You're not helping Shannon Sharpe. You're helping Stephen A. Smith.
I'm not going to, of course, I've spoken to him.
What do you say?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. But I feel about Shannon Sharpe the way I feel about Ryan Clark, the way I feel about Marcus Spears, the way I feel about any of my teammates at ESPN. I mean, we have a great group of folks, and it's a genuine friendship with one another. And I got a lot of love for Shannon and getting to know him. I haven't known Shannon all of these years the way that I've known the others. I've met him in passing and stuff like that. And then, you know, we became friends once I went and got him and brought him on board at ESPN. And I'm very proud that I brought him on board because I think he's done it.
Once again, he did not bring Shannon Sharpe aboard. He continues to tell this lie. I don't understand what he gets out of telling the lie, but he wants that notion to be out there that he brought him aboard. He wants that notion to be out there to the world. I brought Shannon Sharpe to ESPN. It was me. He wants that to be a reality when it clearly isn't a reality. This is a fiction created by Stephen A. Smith. ESPN wanted to get Shannon Sharpe. And they asked him, would you be opposed to working with Shannon Sharpe on First Take? If he said, no, I don't want to work with him on First Take, they said, okay, and they would have put him on another one of their shows on ESPN. And so it's not you, buddy. It's not you. Stop that. Because what you're doing is you're taking credit away from what Shannon Sharpe really is and what he done to for the network. What you think ESPN is just stupid? No, they're a network. They're doing what's best for the network, not because what Stephen A. wanted. So when you're looking at certain narratives, you're seeing certain people going, me. And you got to start asking yourself questions. Why are they going me? What for? What is the reason?
An exceptional job for us. His effort was contagious. He never cheated us. He always came on the air, always ready, always enthused about performing and doing his job and making sure he contributed to the ratings, which he did in a very profound fashion. And I'm incredibly grateful to him for that. When I saw the story come out, obviously I was alarmed like everybody else. Mm-hmm. You know, it's 9:58 on Monday morning. We got a show at 10 o'clock. And then the story comes out about the allegations against him. That was very alarming. I didn't know until 2 minutes before the show. And so when you dealing with something like that, it takes on a life of its own. And on one hand, you got to be very, very sensitive to him from the standpoint that he is profoundly claiming his innocence. But then in the same breath, you're looking at the stuff his lawyers put out and you like, that ain't helping. And then you're looking at what you know about Disney. See, that's where I come in.
Now, Stephen A., that isn't where you come in. You're not connected to the goddamn story. See, this is what this is crazy. Hit the like button, good people, because they coming with a sabotage game. You know what time it is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. The Cash App is Carcino. Let's get through this. Now, I want it to be clear so that the people would see it, would understand exactly what it is that we're talking about and what we're actually going through. Okay? It needs to be clear because what Stephen A. Smith just did was not an act of what a friend would do. He's thinking about himself, but trying to pose it as if he's giving credit to Shannon Sharpe. First off, if you was a friend, Stephen A., you would not be talking. A friend would not be talking in this situation. Do you know why a friend would not be talking in this situation? Because when someone is going through something legally, they don't want to see it back in the news. They don't want to see it on social media. They don't want, and what's going to keep that fire going is someone that continuously keeps bringing the subject right back up. So if you're a friend of Shannon Sharpe, that you claim that you are, why do you keep bringing it up? And don't say, oh, because Big Boy asked me. What the hell are you doing on Big Boy for anyway? What the hell are you selling? You got some new Stephen A. Smith cologne? Get the new Stephen A. Smith cologne. It's funky, and I mean straight up to with the funk. No, you don't get anything. Now, with that being said, and you know that's the case, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know that's the case, right? What you talking for? See, I love it. When people expose exactly who they are. Yeah, he happier than a pig in slop to talk about Shannon Sharpe. But he's acting like he's the bearer of truth. Then he says key words. You just got to listen. If you were to listen, people's like, you talk a lot. Yeah, but I listen more than I talk. And if you listen to Stephen A. right now, it's clear exactly what he's doing. His ego is so grand, he don't even see it. He's self-serving himself. You're not defending Shannon Sharpe. You're not his legal team. Shannon Sharpe did not say, hey, go out there and speak for me. Shannon Sharpe would like all of his friends to shut the F up. That's the best thing for Shannon Sharpe. You going on radio, you going on every show you can, doing a world tour to promote Shannon Sharpe's incident does not help Shannon Sharpe. And then you try to incorporate yourself into the incident. Now, Disney, yeah, this is where I come in, because I know this is where you come in. First of all, why do you feel you're connected to this? If somebody at your job got in trouble at the job or got into something where they got suspended, would you be going in there saying, yeah, now this is where I come in? That is a very poor choice of words. This is where I come in because it's Disney. You don't, I know Disney. You know Disney like everybody else there know Disney. Pat McAfee know Disney too. They work for Disney. Duh. Somebody getting suspended at the job, you don't know me. Hey, I don't know what's going on over there, but you don't know me. Shoot, I'm not trying to get involved. I ain't trying to get involved with nothing they got going on over there. But Stephen A., this is where he comes in.
Because none of these cats have worked for Disney as long as I have. And is as familiar and intimate about the inner workings of Disney and how they think the way that I am. And so I'm now imagining what Disney's going to ultimately do. So although I was hopeful that it ultimately would not lead to him being off the air, I knew it wasn't going to go down like that because I know Disney.
Right.
And so,
Stephen A. Smith. This is not about you knowing Disney. This is about anybody that works for Disney. They didn't like you defending Ray Rice, so they sent you down for like 2 weeks. They have suspended people for statements they've said on the network that didn't go along with the Disney agenda. I mean, gone. No return. One way, no stops, no return, no breaks. They're not coming back. We knew Shannon Sharpe was getting pushed to the side. ESPN was taking him off the air, period. So they let him bow down and have the grace. Marcellus Wiley knew that. Whitlock, he knew it. So we didn't have to work there 35,000 years like you did to know what Disney was going to do. The people in this chat knew what Disney was going to do. It don't take a rocket science to know that it's Disney and how they operate. So it's foolery to make it look like or appear that you know something no one else knows in the whole world when everybody knew.
No, again, I can't say all the things that I've heard, all of the things that I know based on my conversations with him and my conversations with the executives. What I do know is that he has emphatically and profoundly proclaimed his innocence from a legal and libel perspective in terms of not assaulting or raping or doing anything like that to anybody. He is emphatic that he is innocent of those things. But the court of public opinion is what the Disneys of the world and others concern themselves with. That's a more immediate issue. And unfortunately, that has worked against him at this particular moment in time. So I'm hopeful this will all go away. I'm hopeful that I'll have my brother back on the airwaves talking football next season. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because we don't know what else we're going to learn and what Disney's going to be comfortable or uncomfortable with or anything like that. But you also have to remember where the relationship really originated in terms of he and I. He was pushed out at Fox. Yeah. And I know there were folks there that wanted that to be the end of his career, and I wasn't going to let that happen because
You knew there was folks up there that wanted that to be the end of his career. And you know that because Shannon Sharpe told you. That's one. Two, you are not the story, Stephen A. Smith. You wasn't going to let that happen. No, you saw an opportunity. You said, oh, something's going on over there. Him and Skip is fighting. I need to get him on the show. You saw how big Shannon Sharpe had become. And people were watching Undisputed more than your show. And you were only number one because you had more outlets than Fox. But if they had the same outlets and y'all both was on the same line, boy, we'll see. Then we'll see how it goes. Put me on the same line with them. Head up, boy. You see, that's how their mentality thinks. Their mentality keeps them enslaved to a system. And as long as they're in this system, this is how they're going to want it to play out. It's repetitive. Stephen thinks he's one of the higher ups at Disney. That's his problem. Yes, it is his problem. Because a lot of people don't even look at him like he's a human. They don't. They don't view Stephen A. Smith as anything but just give me my sports tape and go on. Like they do the minimal, very minimal at first take. The topics is like what a 3-year-old would come up with. And that's why the show is so light now. It's totally changed. It used to be like political. They would talk about some things going on in the world as it, applies to sports. You might get educated on something. Now it is Fluff the Magic Dragon. I swear it is terrible.
I remember how folks tried to do it to me in 2009. And I was blessed and fortunate to be a brother in a position where I could do something about it, where I didn't have that luxury of having somebody there for me like that. And so for me, anytime you mention him now, you're thinking about me to some degree because I brought him on to ESPN and that just...
No, not at all. When he went through this situation, why are you trying to take credit for him? We're not thinking about you at no degree. Shannon Sharpe had built himself up on Fox, on Undisputed, where most people were introduced to him to the first time. When he came on to ESPN to do the show with you, Stephen A., he was already known as Uncle Shannon. That's Uncle Shay. No one was thinking about you. Nobody was thinking about Stephen A. Smith. And that was a problem for you. That was a huge problem for you. Nobody was thinking about you. You wanted to get him on the show so you could put your shoulder, your hand around his neck to say, I got him. He's with me now. But it's my show. I told y'all that when he first got there, how Stephen A was going to react. Going out there criticizing Shannon Sharpe's lawyers. You think Shannon want that? You think Shannon Sharpe gonna say, hey, Stephen A, I was just thinking, you should go on radio. Yeah, you should go on radio, like go on the world tour. Yeah, and I want you to criticize the lawyer I got. Yeah, that gonna really help me out, boy, because you my friend. Yeah, I know you can do that for me. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go out there and criticize it all. Yeah, can you do that for me? Can you be my good friend and go out there and criticize everything in existence? I know I can count on you. Yeah, go on Big Boy Show too, yeah. And then every time it die down a little bit, I need you to kick it back up. Yeah, I need that thing to stay in you. Because you my boy. Yeah, I know you're going to do what's best for me. Yeah, talk about how my lawyer did some things that wasn't good for me. Yeah, you need to put that out there. Yeah, that really going to go, man, that really going to help my character because, you know, you work with me. They're going to think you know me. I'm like your best friend. They might call you into the trial. Yeah, you my boy. You my boy. That's exactly what I need. Yeah. Shoot, I should probably have you be my legal lawyer. You should represent the kid. What I'm paying all this money for. I just had Stephen A. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elevated his profile and assisted in Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, and all of that being taken to another level. And so knowing that, that's why I felt it was important to go on my YouTube show, my podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and just let everybody know I'm not here to speak of innocence or guilt from a legal or a civil situation. That's for them to handle or whatever. I know the brother tells me he's innocent. I believe him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But most importantly, I'm his friend.
Right.
And that man has done, you know, he's helped me immensely. It ain't just me doing for him. He's done for me as well in terms of his performance and his dedication to his craft and how he's helped us in terms of the show itself and how he helped us continue to explode. And I'm incredibly grateful to him for that. And I know that he does not trust easy and that the honest conversations that he's had with me, he wouldn't have with just anybody. So I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to make sure that he knows and that everybody knows that no matter how things go down, not to say that he would rely on me, but if he ever chose to, anything that I can do for him as a friend, I will do.
The court of public opinion.
So anything as a friend, I would do. That's very interesting, Stephen A. You hear that? Anything as a friend I would do. Whatever you need, baby. I'm right here, baby. Whatever you need. Mm-hmm.
Opinion is a lot, bro. And it's crazy because you'll hear, oh, the shakedown, the $10 million offer, the $50 million lawsuit. And I always tell people, I say, man, if they say we're going to give you 10 million, we're going to give you 50 million, or we could lock him up for 5 years, what do you think that person would choose?
What do I think the person would choose? Which person? The person being accused?
No, the person that says they put like, oh girl.
Mm-hmm.
If they say, we give you 50 million, or we can lock him up for 5 years, what do you think she'll take?
50 million.
Right. So this, and my thing is this: I don't fault any victim, but that's why some people don't come out when things are happening as well, because there's a lot that goes on with
great things that he has been doing, and to know the potential is out there for all of this to be derailed. I'm incredibly sad for him. I'm sad for us as a show, because we're better with him than without him. But right now it's just about him getting his house in order and doing what he can to get past all of this. And listen, we all have friends that found themselves in various predicaments throughout our life. And you can look at somebody, and even if you take issue with their choices and what they've done, you can still sit up there and look at them and say they're a friend. And it means the world to them.
And this is the time.
And it means the world to them. And so for me, all I want him and anybody to know is that you ain't going to see me excoriating him. You ain't going to see me disrespecting him. You're not going to see me stripping him of my support. I can tell you what I think you right and you wrong about, right? Getting your ass about it, and then turn around and say, okay, how can we help you get back past this? All of that comes with friendship. And I think that true friends conduct themselves that way. They ain't yes people that tell you just what you want to hear. They ain't no people that's willing to vilify you to second something. I mean, I see cats talking about him, and I can't even put into words the shit I've seen them do and heard about them doing, especially in our business. And so it's like you just, and then I see the zest with which people are willing to pounce on him. And it's like, listen, people have been after him since he did Cat Williams. They've been at his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride that wave. Now, once again, that's separate and apart from all of this. We get that part. I'm not talking about what people are talking about and what they have to talk about. I'm talking about the zest with which they do it. If I sit up there and I'm friends with Big Boy, I'm a contemporary colleague with Big Boy, right? And then Big Boy get in trouble. It's one thing for me to be on the end going like this, this is what happened to Big Boy. And it's another thing to Ty be like, yeah, you see what happened to Big Boy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you just see that. And
now, here's what he's trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. What he's actually trying to do here is call out Marcellus Wiley. That was a shot at Marcellus Wiley and Jason Whitlock. It wasn't a shot at me. It was a shot at Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley. In case you didn't know where that shot was and who was it intended for, that's who it was intended for. They have no need. That's why. They don't care about anything somebody else is bringing to the forefront. No, it's not going down like that. No, you wouldn't do that to anybody. What he's trying to say is like, look how happy they are. They just really don't care. They don't. Marcellus Wiley don't know Shannon Sharpe. They both play football. They don't work together in the studio at all. You don't know Marcellus Wiley. You know of him. You never really worked with him. So now Whitlock you worked with, you knew him, you don't like him. You know Whitlock don't like Shannon Sharpe just to keep the whole controversy going on. But he worked over there. But those two never interacted. Mm-hmm. Oh, of course, to make himself sound important. Now he's like, see, y'all supposed to be his friends and colleagues, and you turning on him like that. You're spinning on him. But that's what you're doing, Stephen A. Shannon Sharpe isn't my friend. I mean, I seen Shannon Sharpe at the Pro Bowl. That's about it. I was there when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. I've seen it. Now, the bigger picture was this. Kind of want you to be a little clear on it. You know? Because people don't seem to get it. Just because people say some things that might be nice don't mean they have your best intentions. Even the devil can do good deeds. When this dude sat up there and said, oh, Shannon Sharpe was a blessing. He came on the show. He did this. He did that. I went and got him. I put him on the show. I did this. I did that. But don't get me wrong. He did his job. He came in. He did over the thing we did. But what is you doing? You big boy, little boy in him. Lying and manipulating a situation that didn't happen that way. What's happening to Shannon Sharpe happened to Shannon Sharpe because of Shannon Sharpe. That's it. Shannon Sharpe created the situation because he was dealing with a 19-year-old girl when he met her. He knew this is an Instagram model when he met her. He knew. So you know all of these things. But you don't seem to know what's going on when it's time. I find that very convenient. Mm-hmm. You on the show, big boy. For what reason? Do you have something new going on the Stephen A. Smith show? You there on the show talking about everybody else. Shador Sanders, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Shannon Sharpe. So what are you there to do? Promote your podcast show? Because it's really simple to do if that's all you're going to do, right? I mean, the girl is 22 now, but he's been sleeping with her for a while. And whatever your disturbing personal behavior is, that morality clause that they have in the contract at Disney, that's going to doom you. And if you're his friend, why would you be going on radio shows talking about his situation over and over again? Not making him look good in the situation. So what are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Nothing surprised me anymore. They don't care, people. They don't care. No, because if you did, and if you feel that way and you feel froggy about it, when you go on your Stephen A. Smith show, why don't you call that podcast out by their name? Say their name. Who you feel is very gleeful. Marcellus Wiley is always in a high energy mood. Not to say he's happy. I just don't think he cares either which way it goes because he has no real connection there. But was Marcellus Wiley unfair to Shannon Sharpe? I don't feel that he was. Now, Whitlock's going to be, he's going to do what he do. He's going to exaggerate the situation. He's going to make the situation, instead of going off what's actually there, he's going to create some mystery thing and tie that into some GOP nonsense. We know that's what he does, and he eat ribs. Lots of them. So that's what we know about Whitlock. Well, Stephen A. knows that because he was buried from television because he thought he was bigger than life. And they had to tell him, you're nobody. And that was the first time he didn't realize that, wow, I could be fired. Like, they really can get rid of me. It's like, yeah, they can. You have no weight here, sir. So whatever you think you know about yourself, you better get yourself together, because we got problems here, real problems. Well, when you see most people who are going through extremes, like they'll go through a serious extreme for one narrative, and then they'll turn around and go through another narrative. So that's what Stephen A. Smith wants to do. So I got it. Well, see, here the thing is, man. Where people should be like really focused on the game right now and focus on basketball and what's to come next with the NBA and all of this. All we got is what we have in front of us. Now, Stephen A. Smith, if you was a real comrade and a real brother, you'll be talking about the Shedeur Sanders situation, but you're talking about it from an era of a company man. Now, he was supposed to be cool with Deion and Shedeur Sanders, right? He goes right on this show and throw them under the bus, saying, well, Deion kind of did some things by saying there were certain teams they wouldn't play for. Right there, you got to know there's an umbrella of people who ain't going to go for that. Well, here's the thing that I had a problem with there. When they were saying such a thing. Right? When they were making such a statement, it was clear to me that they forgot Peyton Manning done that, John Elway done that, Eli Manning has done that. They all decided who they weren't going to play for. They didn't like it then, but they dealt with it. They manipulated where they were going to play and where they weren't going to play. Elway forced a trade. Like, don't draft me, I'm not playing there. They drafted him and they ended up having to trade him. Because he said, I'll go play baseball. I'm not playing for y'all. And that's how he got to the Denver Broncos. So now when Shedeur Sanders do it, it's like, oh, man, you better watch yourself, young fella. You better watch it there. You know you can't be doing that. Right. They like, hey, brother, hey. Now, the way I see it is clear. The way I see it has been designed and laid out in a fashion that has been beneficial only to them. He should have done the combine. That could rub teams the wrong way. You don't do the combine and then you do the interview for the people. Because look, they looked at it like this. You know what Shedeur can do. You know what he is. You know what he's going to bring to your franchise. It's like, stop playing. They hate that black folks know their worth. That irks them. Nobody is more irked than finding out talking about he coming in with this brand legendary. There's other players coming in with brands. And because of NIL deals, people have their own brand coming through the door. You're going to have to get used to that. People are going to have their own brands walking through the door. It doesn't mean that they're arrogant. They're living by the times and the conditions of their time. They're allowed to make money now. So they're going to walk through the door with a brand if they're big enough. You might not like that. Oh, it's not about team. I don't think he's focused. Don't mean he ain't focused. It just means that he's getting paid. Tomlin wasn't going to draft him because Tomlin's in a position where he's not going to develop a quarterback. He needs a quarterback to be in it. The Steelers have made the playoffs every year. He can't get into it with a rookie quarterback. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need a veteran, and then they can have a rookie somewhere on the bench learning from that veteran. They ain't trying to get Aaron Rodgers to come in there and be a quick fix quarterback. Right. It's like, cut the shit. We know what this is. If I play for your team's going to sell more jerseys of mine than they are than these 5 quarterbacks you got on the list. that got your team name on it. And you're going to be eating off that. Shedeur Sanders outweighs any of these guys in merchandise, everything. People are going to go there and buy, and you're going to make millions off of my back before I even throw a football. So cut the shit. This is about trying to show somebody who's boss. You trying to show up somebody. You gonna show Prime he don't run the show. And when they get these airhead guys who should know better, like CC, Chris Carter, who play like they a friend, but at the same time they behind your back, hoping that you don't succeed. But they get in your face and they all laughing with you when all the success is going your way. But then when you don't get drafted, they going, see, Deion, he learning right now. See, he don't run the show. I'm like, oh, so now it's about Deion. Deion don't run no show here, and this how it goes. Charlie Ward was not going to get drafted. He knew that. So he was like, look, I'm not going to go down this road with y'all. I won a national championship. I did all I did, and y'all don't want me. I already know that. Oh, you too short, he's too this, he's too that. He's like, look, I'll go to the NBA. And he had a career in the NBA. But what if Charlie Ward went to the NFL? They were limited by the conditions of their time. If Michael Vick, Charlie Ward, those guys had the marketing machines that's around today, what would they be? Now, most of these people didn't have second chances. They didn't have anybody around them that was telling them right for wrong, or this is what you should do in this situation. They knew it was nothing that they could do. There was nothing on the table for them to do. Check it, right? If I was to tell you, hey, man, I got $100 million for you, but here's the catch. To get that $100 million, I'm going to need you to do X, Y, and Z. You got to show up on time. You get like 10% of it. Now, if you late 3 times, for no matter what the reason, late 3 times, I get to dock you 5%. I get to dock you this. I get to dock you that. You get to dock you that. By the time at the end of the season, with taxes and everything, you end up with like 20-something million. Maybe. You done lost about 50% of it through the incentive. Or you didn't hit this benchmark. You didn't get 100 yards in every game. So you're not playing to win the game. You're playing to basically survive. So you're out there playing for stats. And that a lot of people contracts like that is like it is today. That's incentive contracts. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, these scenarios always find a way to play out in a way that does not appear to be beneficial to the masses. Then we got clowns like LeBron James, talking about, unfortunately, because of my knee injury I sustained at the end of the season, I won't be able to attend the Met Gala in New York tonight, as so many people has been asking and congratulating me on. Hate to miss a historical event. My beautiful queen will be there holding the castle down as she has done. Maybe I need to get to the Met Gala. Go see Savannah. I'll be Savannah. I got a lot of room. Not what you probably accustomed to, but we can make it work, baby. Mm-mm. Because see, that's the intentions. See, if you don't change the intentions, nobody else is gonna care unless you change the conversation up. You have to change the intentions of what's going on out here, or it's not gonna get better. All right, if you look at the Patreon, what we got now, Shannon Sharpe, Crazy X, just won't go away. We had to put that out there so the public would know. Right? Selma Hayek, how she made it. That's the rocket one y'all was a part of. Keefy D is cooked. Shannon Sharpe, former stylist, clears the air. That's right. We got Boot Thang listening right to it. He always gonna fake an injury to try to get out of something. They're gonna be like, man, that's because LeBron got hurt. It's nonsense. We all know that. Mm-hmm. I know. Tell me about it. Remember, I got y'all down and invest with me when I opened up the door to let y'all come in, mostly my Patreon. But I opened up that door to let y'all come in and invest with me. Right? And what is a part of the thing that we own a piece of? Tree line trails. Its full stabilization is at 100% occupancy. See, I don't get paid off of one house. I get paid off the entire whole community called Tree Line Trails. And so did all of you who invested with me. What it says, January 2025, the 146 unit community of built to rent homes in Jacksonville, Florida, has achieved stabilization with the effective occupancy of at least or at an impressive 100%. That means it's all at capacity. They have even completed an initial lease up and achieved the occupancy rate at 90 to 95%. That milestone marks another successful transition in our portfolio of the cash flowing stabilization phase. Now, it was acquired in 2022. Right? And they went from acquisition to stabilization, and now people get to reap the benefits. So, with that being said, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all on the Patreon. I got a lot more updates to do over there, and we out.